It's purple.
Yeah, it's working again.
It's working?
Yes.
Blah, blah, blah. Oh, fantastic. You want to go into the new messages? Hi. All right. Hello, everyone. I'm sorry about the not the scientific notation. I'm sorry about the technical difficulties.
Oh,
We're now live.
Hey, Stream Elements, how are you?
They're not a person.
Well, they could be a person.
Okay. So today we're going to do scientific notation because we're scientists. Ooh.
Beep, beep, beep.
Levi's a scientist right now because of all the beep noises he's making. And we're also going to be talking about inference questions on the SAT reading because the SAT is slowly coming up. Levi, when is the SAT?
March 8th?
March 8th? Maybe? It's in March.
It might be March 9th.
It doesn't matter. It honestly...
Just go both days.
Honestly, it doesn't matter because you could show up at any point and they'll just give you the test.
It's
That's not true.
It's the
Show
9th.
up on time on the right day.
Yes.
You got anything else to say, Leeward, before we get this thing going?
I do, yeah. So to the very few people who are already watching us, he's doing scientific notation, and after that I'm doing inference questions on the reading section of the SAT. It's exactly the same as on the ACT. Inference questions aren't different. They're hard, but they're not different.
He's absolutely right. Okay. Your eyes are very blue today.
Yeah?
Yes, my eyes are very glassy because I have been doing Oculus Go stuff. Games.
Is that what it's called? Oculus Go?
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah, because you can
This
bring
is
it with you.
already, I've had more fun than I did last night during stream by myself for 90 minutes.
Like the area under the curve of fun, it's already...
If you take the integral of my fun
units?
function,
Yeah.
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 It was pretty low.
Was it negative?
No, it was like... Yeah.
Okay.
It wasn't negative. I like teaching.
Sure.
You like teaching.
Yes.
I'm going to go.
I like teaching. You like teaching. Everybody likes teaching. Okay. Why do we use scientific notation? How can I make it work for me? And how can I turn it into money? It's probably what you're thinking. Well, it's very simple. Money. Scientific notation, they're connected. And they feed back into each other very simply. All right, here's how we do it. Let's talk about the distance from the sun to the earth, okay? Or from the earth to the sun, depending on where you're coming from. But the only way you could really do it is if you're coming from the earth. And you're not going to get all the way to the sun because you will die a fiery death before you get there.
Do you spaghettify with the sun, or would that only happen with the black hole?
Black holes.
Okay, so it wouldn't happen with the full of the sun?
I think you vaporize before you
let's
get
say you wouldn't vaporize. Would you spaghettify?
No, I don't think you would.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, I don't think you would.
Okay.
I don't think you would.
I'll ask someone.
Very good. Okay, so the distance between the Earth and the Sun is a whopping 93 million miles. Now, it took me, a couple seconds to write that, so really that's not a big deal. But that is a very small distance in the universe, an incredibly tiny distance. In fact, there's really no absolute large or small, because you can go down so small and so big that, compared to other distances, this is tiny. But that's a different discussion. We don't want to have to write a bajillion zeros every time we write a very large or a very small number. So scientific notation is a way to shorten that by using powers of 10. Let me show you what I mean. The way that we could write this in scientific notation is 9.3. Hey, I put a question in the Discord that I need help with. Cell 90. Yes.
Oh, that's Neil. Call him Neil.
Neil. Yeah, Levi, do you want to check that out?
Yeah, I'm checking it out.
Very good. We got one. Okay. Times.
Hey, Neil, have you met Brady?
Times 10 to the 7th miles.
Neil, have you met Brady before? Or no? If you have, sorry, but if not, this is Brady, Neil.
Neil, it's great to meet you. My preferred way of meeting people is seeing their screen name on a screen in front of me.
While they see you.
While they see me and take me in on their screen. So this is perfect. Levi's going to check out that Discord question. Thanks for writing that. 9.3 times 10 to the 7th miles. All right, this is a much shorter way of writing this. We don't have to write as many zeros. It all has to do with moving the decimal place over. Our number system is based on powers of 10. Okay? If you have a number like, we'll say 6.2. And you want to multiply it by 10. It's very simple. You simply move the decimal place 1 over to the right, and you get 62. Okay? If you want to divide by 10, let's say we have 0.73. We want to divide by 10. We move the decimal place 1 more to the left and put a 0 there. 0.073. All right? Times 10 divided by 10, moving the decimal place. You can think of it as adding a 0, except in these situations, In 6.2, there's no new 0. You just move it over till it's after 2. Okay? This is why this is allowed to work. What we're saying here is that 93 million would be the same as if you started with 9.3 and you move the decimal place over 7 times to the right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here's the new decimal place. A bunch of zeros to take its place. You got 93 million right there. Okay? Now, some rules. Because you might think, wouldn't it be okay to just do something like 93 times 10 to the 6th? All right? A million is 10 to the 6th. 93 times a million. That's 93 million. It is. It is 93 million. That's true. It's equivalent. But it's not in the right format of scientific notation. The right format is you want to place the decimal so that the number before the decimal is between 1 and 10. I'm gonna rephrase that. Not before the decimal, but the number that you have here needs to be between 1 and 10. This is 93. Way too big. We did not put the decimal place in the right point. Okay? If we bring it back 1, 9.3, now we're in our range of 1 to 10. If we bring it back 1 more, we have 0.93. We're below 1, so we went too far. So the sweet spot is right here, 9.3. But if we move the decimal place over 1, from 93 to 9.3, we have to take that into account when we decide on our exponent. Not decide, but select the right exponent. This needs to be 1 larger to account for the fact that we went backwards. We still have to go forwards by the same number plus 1. So 9.3 times 10 to the 7th. Okay? That's what it looks like for large numbers. But hey, what about for small numbers? Great question. Levi, I need some rags.
Yep. Makes sense.
I mean, you'd think that. Thank you. Levi, can you look up the diameter of an atom?
Yes.
Thank you.
7.
It's not 7.
Is the diameter of an atom 7 atoms long?
No, that's very wrong.
Oh, but if you take 1/7 of that length of 7 atoms, that could be the diameter of an atom.
True.
So, do you need me to look it up anymore?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Please do. That's Levi being a bozo.
Okay, it is 0.1 nanometers. Do you want me to give that to you in scientific notation?
Well, can you give it to me in meters?
Yes. But that would also be in scientific notation.
0.9 nanometers, you said, right?
Okay. If you want it in...
So this is...
Why don't...
Actually, you know what? No, you can give it to me in scientific notation. I'll show them what it actually is.
Okay.
So, hold on. Distance from Earth to Sun. Really big. Ooh, really big distance. And then we have diameter of an atom.
Diameter of an atom is 10 to the negative 10 meters per nothing.
Huh?
10 to the negative 10. 1 times 10 to the negative 10.
You said it was 0.9, right? Let's start with 0.9. You said it was 0.9.
No, I didn't.
What'd you say?
0.1.
0.1.
Wait. Stop.
Come on, leave.
1 times 10 to the negative 10.
1
meters.
Times 10 to the negative 10 meters.
Yes. Sorry.
All right. Thank you. You may go if you want to. You can stay up here too if you want. This is the diameter of an atom. What does that mean? Well, a negative exponent means you're going the opposite way. You're essentially dividing by 10, okay? 10 to the negative 10th is the same thing as 1 over 10 to the 10th. So if we're multiplying by 10 to the negative 10th, we're going to be multiplying by 1 over 10 to the 10th, which is dividing by 10 to the 10th. Which means we're going to be moving the decimal place in the direction that dividing by 10 goes. Okay? So let's try to figure out what this actually looks like if we wanted to make it large, which we generally don't want to do because the whole point of scientific notation is to save us time from writing really, really long numbers so that we can hang out with friends and family and, you know, play cool games on our Oculus Go's. Which is what I've been doing all day. I can't see anything right now. It's awesome. Anyway, we're going to start with 1. Decimal place is after the 1. We have to go back by 10 spaces. 10 decimal places back. So let's count. 1. A 0 has not showed up yet. It's only when you start going off an empty space you start getting zeros. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. That's our decimal. So, okay, I really don't like these little curves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 zeros. There are 9 zeros, and then we have a 1. Meters. That is the diameter of an atom. Okay? That is a tiny number. It's so small. Who would want to deal with that kind of a number? Not me, not Levi. Maybe scientists? No. They invented notation to be able to not deal with this stuff. Okay? So if you have to turn a number, let's see, we worked on turning this into scientific notation, and we start with scientific notation, we turn it back into the original number. These are the two possible things you might have to do. Okay? When in doubt, write it out. I just made that up right now. If you're on the test and it's asking you which one of these is the value of this scientific notation, write out the number you got and then start moving the decimal place over how many times you're supposed to. If it's times 10 to the positive exponent, you move it over 7 spaces. If it's times 10 to a negative exponent, you move it over the opposite way, negative 10, which means to the left 10 spaces. Okay? So if it's positive, you go to the right, and if it's negative, you go to the left. Okay? We'll do one more thing with scientific notation, and then we're going to be done. Okay.
Sometimes I get scared, Levi, that like you know how like electrons orbit the nucleus?
Yeah.
What if the Earth and the solar system is just like a big atom where the sun is the nucleus? And so like what if we're way smaller than we thought we were? And then like we're all part of some big like dog that's like made of universe atoms.
Well, yeah, that's like Orion's belt and
Men in Black.
yeah. What?
I don't have any original ideas. It all comes from movies. Yeah, but you know what? Honestly, that's fine. It doesn't change anything. We have no idea what the big picture is right now anyway. And even if we're really small, I think there's something like 2 trillion galaxies in the universe, in the observable universe, mind you. So yeah, we're tiny, I guess. Since when does being small mean you don't mean anything? Like, there's no real logical connection between how large something is and how important it is. There isn't one.
That's true.
You know? So, like...
Yeah, which is why you should stress out over the SAT. Right?
Bring it back. You gotta bring it back. Okay. Let's do something like this.
So, by extension, that means that the smaller something is, the more important it is.
No, you're not interpreting what I'm saying correctly at all.
Right? Like, if A, then B, then if not A, then not B.
Well, that's not the contrapositive.
No, I know. But, so then it is the contra... Wait, what?
What was the original statement that I said?
You said that the smaller something is, the more important it is.
That's not what I said. That is fundamentally
for all
not
intents and
what
purposes.
Or intensive purposes.
Yeah. Who did you tell that to the other day?
Someone. Robot Dancer, I think?
You said it on stream, but you had told a student of yours, right? A private student?
No, I told Robot Dancer.
Oh, because they just posted it, right?
Yeah. Let's say we're dividing here, okay? 4.3 times 10 to the 6, 6.7 times 10 to the 8th. There's a hard way to do this, there's an easy way to do this. The hard way to do this is to either write this all out in your calculator. I guess that would be that difficult. The calculator makes things easier. Use your calculator from things that'll make you faster at anything, okay? The hard parts of these tests are often getting them done in time, so whatever you can do to speed that up, do it. There's no bonus points for doing stuff in your head, okay? Here's what you can do here. You can just focus on these two different pieces. You have 4.3 over 6.7 times 10 to the 6th over 10 to the 8th. Let's focus on this first. 10 to the 6th over 10 to the 8th. Same base, exponents on top and bottom, division, which means we subtract. 6 minus 8 is negative 2. So this is going to be the same thing as 10 to the negative 2nd. This right here, interesting. This might be calculator time. I suppose it's useless if I'm using a calculator to be trying to do it without a calculator before. But anyway, 4.3 divided by 6.7, that gives us 0.64, we'll say 2, times what we said, which is 10 to the negative 2nd. Okay, this is not a large exponent, so we can write this thing out as it was originally intended before the scientists got in there. We have to move our decimal place back 2 spaces. I don't know. So bring it back 1, 2. We have 2 zeros. So 0.00642. Hopefully you guys can read that. This pink marker's not doing that.
Hey, Neil, are you still here? We're about to do your problem as soon as he's done with this.
I'm done with this. Neil, you still here? We're about to do this problem after I'm done with this.
Yeah, and by we, I mean you, Brady.
Is it math?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, you'll be
excellent.
fine.
Okay. Hey, Neil. Hey, Neil. You around? We want to explain problems to you so that you understand them. If you left, it's okay. We're not happy about it. It's okay. We'll just learn not to... No.
This is a student. Can I take this?
Yeah, Levi's
Okay.
got a student. Let me grab my phone.
This isn't bad, though. Hey, Luke, how are you?
Neil, buddy, where are you? We miss you, man. We're going to answer your question. We're going to answer that question of yours, Neil. We don't want to answer if you're not here, because then that means that after the stream, you could just watch it over and find the part where we answered your question. And, I mean, I suppose that's okay, but it might be that you have a question about the way that we answered it, and we won't be able to respond because it won't be live anymore. And I realize that if you're not watching this, then me complaining to you is not going to do anything because you're not watching this. But I think at this point, I might as well just take a look at your question. Coming back. We're coming back. We're coming in hot. Let's see what we got. Discord. Discord. Okay. Questions for stream. What do we got here? All right. So we got this graph. Okay. Height over time. The graph of the equation. And this is h is equal to negative at squared plus bt plus c. This is a t. Let's make it tall. Okay, which describes how the height h of a hit baseball changes over time. So the baseball is going up, then it's going back down again. If you alter this equation's c term, which gives the height at time t equals 0, this alteration has an effect on which of the following? Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so we have the h-intercept, the max value of h, and we have the t-intercept. Okay, so if you alter the c value, what the c value does, it's a vertical transformation. Okay, also it is normally the y-intercept of a problem. Okay, so if I have something like y, this marker's not great. Maybe it's okay. Yeah, it's better.
Just don't write as much.
That's not going to help.
Oh. Is Neil here?
No.
Okay. Neil?
I feel like you can watch this afterward, though.
Yeah.
Okay. What 6 does here, if you put in 0 for x, okay, so both of these are 0, then y is going to be equal to 6. So when x is 0, y equals 6. What does that mean? That is the y-intercept. All right? When you're on the y-axis, your x value is equal to 0. So if you ever want to find the y-intercept of any function, plug 0 in for x. Vice versa, if you ever want to find the x-intercept, plug 0 in for y. Okay? So right here, this is it's in the place of what is normally the y-intercept. But in this case, our y is actually h, stands for height. So this is our starting value of height when time equals 0, which is like your x value. When t is equal to 0, when x is equal to 0, this is your starting height value. So this right here, that is c. That's where c shows up. So if we increase c, what's going to happen? The h-intercept, is that going to change? Of course it is. The most direct understanding of what c is the h-intercept here. Okay? So yes, that will definitely change. Question is which of these will change, okay? The max value of h. Is the function. It's the parabola here. Is that going to change? Well, if you lift this point up, You're performing a vertical transformation. A vertical transformation, it is a translation, a vertical translation, which is going to move every single point in this parabola up by a certain amount. Okay? If I make C 1 larger, that means now, it's going to say that's a unit right there. Every point is going to become 1 larger than it started. Okay? So the new parabola is going to look something like this. So we got that. It's going to stay 1 up. Okay? So the max value of h will be higher, of course. Yes. The t-intercept, you see what happened here? Because it's higher, it's going to reach the t-axis a little bit later. So the t-intercept is also going to be different. So all 3 of these have changed, Neil, which means that the answer is 1, 2, and 3. It has an effect on all of them. Thank you.
Yes.
Is that for me?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? All right, Neil. I know you weren't here, but you were here in spirit. You live on through this question that you asked. Very good. Levi.
Yes.
Would you like to do inference questions?
Yes.
Very good.
Okay.
Okay. Levi is going to do inference questions, and he's very excited. It's a very exciting time. Why are you very excited? You like making inferences, huh? You like inferring?
I like inferring.
Yeah?
Look, can I have my pink back?
I don't know which one is yours. You can just have both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, you're being a little aggressive with my shirt.
Oh, you mean my cousin's shirt?
Nope.
Oh. Sorry. My cousin made these shirts. Shout out to Artrageous Printing in Lake Zurich, Illinois. Yes. They make all your printing needs come true.
So unless 12 people comment in the next 10 seconds that they don't want inference questions covered, I'm going to cover inference questions, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Hey! Shots fired. Pew, 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 pew.
But I'm going to pull up the overlay. Wait.
He's going to pull up the overlay, guys.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to erase.
Okay.
I'm going to erase.
We're going to lag.
Sorry, guys. We're going to lag. Lag word. Very good. I'm just erasing everything. This guy's erasing everything. He's out of his mind.
Okay. Got this thing up here. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
Oy.
Okay, we're doing number 38 right here, which is an inference question. Inference questions aren't particularly hard to identify. I think they are the hardest question on the test. Bam. Number 38. Oh, shoot. Can you make that full screen, Bert?
Yes.
Thank you.
I like this.
Cool. Okay, number 38. It can be reasonably inferred. Okay, so it's pretty obvious that we're doing an inference question. The strong-minded was a term generally intended to what? Okay, so what was the intent of using this term? This passage is about women fighting for the right to vote, as I recall. Sorry, just fixing the floor. Wow, I almost just unplugged everything. That's good. Okay, so we're going to go back to the passage real quick.
Line 32.
Yes, line 32. And now, in inference questions, they require a lot of understanding of the passage, generally. So what I would recommend is doing them last. So I mean, Bird, what would you say? Would you do them after the main idea questions? It doesn't really matter at that point.
I'm a proponent of main idea always coming at the end.
At the very end?
Yeah.
Yeah, just easy to remember.
Yep.
Yeah. But inference questions require you to really understand the passage. So we're going to say that we've read the entire passage, which we have not done. It's a dirty lie. And, well, okay. I figured you, anyway. Line 32 is not here, so we gotta find it. Okay, line 32. Right here, we'll just start at the beginning of the paragraph. People object to the demands of those whom they choose to call the strong-minded, because they say the right of suffrage will make the women masculine. Okay, so in this case, we have actually really, really good context. We're talking about, or I think the narrator, who's the narrator here? Let me just find her name. Is this, no, this isn't Stanton. Oh, it is Stanton. Yes, great, it's Stanton. So Stanton is talking, she is a suffragette. So what you need to keep in mind with the SAT is that it's not going to say anything super off color. So if you read a passage that's on the right to vote for women, it's definitely going to be pro voting rights. Okay? So it's not going to be anything crazy that goes against the grain of our society. So keep that in mind. We're definitely, in general, positive with this essay. Also, that makes sense because this woman is a suffragette talking about suffrage. Now, we say, people object to the demands of those whom they choose to call the strong-minded. This is a very interesting way of bringing up the word strong-minded. And then it says because. So the because is your context here. It's going to set up your context so that you can infer things. So they say these women are strong-minded because they say the right of suffrage will make the women masculine. Okay. Based on when this was written, saying that a woman is masculine is not good. So the idea of strong-minded is going to align relatively well with something not good, which is masculine traits among women. Okay? So let's go to the answer choices. We're trying to see what was the wording again? It can reasonably be inferred that the term strong-minded was a term generally intended to do what? Something negative. That's what we figured out, right? Because they wanted to say that women were masculine, or that voting would make women masculine. So let's look at the answer choices. We have praise women. Immediately, I don't like that one. That's not what that term was meant to do. It was not meant to praise women, so we're going to get rid of, I'm going to cross out specifically the word praise. And then B, identify women who demonstrate intellectual skill. No, they say strong-minded, but this actually is very close to what I think the next question is, which is a vocab in context, but it's just a little bit more connotative. So I don't like B either because B is too positive for what they're trying to say in the passage in this part. So it's a little too on the nose. It's not saying strong-minded means intellectually skilled. That's not what it's doing. So I don't like this intellectual skill thing that they're talking about in B. C, criticize women who enter male-dominated professions. I like the word criticize, so I'm going to circle that. I like that because it did seem pretty critical. But I don't like enter male-dominated professions because it said nothing about professions, and we're not saying that voting is a profession because it's not. It's a right, I guess, right? Unless there's a right to work, huh, Braid?
Yes.
Yeah, you're paying attention. That was fun. I wish you could have enjoyed that with me.
Yes.
Okay, fine. So I don't like the word professions here. Not because it goes against what was said, but because it has nothing to do with what was said. And then D, condemn women who agitate for the vote for their sex. Yeah, that seems pretty good. Condemn is very strong, but they're not asking what do the words strong-minded mean in general. They're asking what can you infer about how that term was intended. And it was intended very negatively. It was intended to condemn women who agitate for the right to vote. D. Please let me know if you have any questions. Please put more questions in the Discord, in the chat, all of those things. Facebook and YouTube people, same deal. Okay, I'm going to go back to number 31, I think is the one I wanted. That's strange. 31, very nice. Okay, so let's read number 31 in a second once I get this garbage out of the way.
Garbage?
Garbage. It's garbage, I'm throwing it out.
Yes.
Okay, so to go through what we did last time, we eliminated answer choices that we didn't like, right? We didn't just choose the one we liked the most. That's our last step. And we were looking for clues. Now, that one was actually a little bit simple because the clues were right there, and yet you had to have a general understanding of the passage. But here, you just need to have a really good understanding of everything and know where to look. So, number 31 right here. We have, on which of the following points would the authors of both passages most likely agree? So, here's the words here, most likely. That's what tips us off that we are doing an inference question, right? It's not. It doesn't say infer like 38, but it says what would most likely be their opinion, whatever. So that's what we're doing. Now, A. Actually, let's go back to the passages and just talk about them real quick.
Yay!
What?
I'm just excited.
Oh, you're excited. You look excited.
Yes.
Yeah. Passage 1. The mental consequences of our online info crunching are not universally bad. Okay, so passage 1, as I recall, is about how using computers all the time makes us a little bit quicker, and our reflexes and our spatial visual cortex garbage stuff, going quicker, things like that. Passage 2 is not saying that. Passage 2 is basically saying, yeah, being on the computer all the time doesn't really do much for you. So it also says that, let's see, the first sentence. Critics of new media sometimes use science itself to press their case, citing research that shows how experience can change the brain. But cognitive neuroscientists roll their eyes at such talks. Yes, every time we learn a factor skill, the wiring of the brain changes. Okay, so this person is very, very edgy, would you say, Bird?
Yes.
Very edgy. You are so locked in right now, aren't you?
You are killing it.
Yeah, I'm killing it.
You gotta keep going.
Yeah, I haven't said anything in the last 5 minutes. I've just been staring at the screen.
I don't know about that.
Okay, that's true. So this dude, oh my goodness, what's going on? Nope. Experience is not revamped. Yeah, so this person, unlike the other person who said that using computers all the time makes us better at little spatial reflex stuff, this person is saying it doesn't do anything really. Yes, it changes your brain like anything else, but it doesn't really have much of an effect. Now, let's go to the questions. Bam. Which of these following points would both authors most likely agree? So point 1, computer-savvy children tend to demonstrate better hand-eye coordination than do their parents. Okay, well that definitely works with passage 1, because passage 1 is saying, well, kids these days, or people who use computers a lot have better skills with stuff. And then you can say, well, computer-savvy children are those people, and their parents are not as computer-savvy, so therefore, yeah. Passage 1 probably would agree with A, but has nothing to do with passage 2. It actually would probably mean that passage 2 wouldn't agree, because passage 2 said nothing really changes. So I don't like A because passage 1 doesn't agree. So I'll write, next to A, I'll write P1 and I'll cross it out, except it should have been P2, who wouldn't agree. So passage 2 doesn't agree with A. And then B, those who criticize consumers of electronic media tend to overreact in their criticism. Yes, this is passage 2's thing, because passage 2 is not saying, oh, computers are bad and they don't change the brain. They're saying, passage 2 is saying, it just doesn't really change the brain. So they do actually say, I think in the second or third paragraph here, let's check the second one. No, I think it's passage, or paragraph 3 then. Oh, yeah, okay. So first line of paragraph 3, we have, the effects of consuming electronic media are likely to be far more limited than the panic implies. Media critics write as if the brain takes on the qualities of whatever it consumes, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so they're clearly not making fun, but clearly think that some people are overreacting to this stuff. So I like passage 2 for B, but it has nothing to do with passage 1. They don't talk about the critics. So I think that passage 1 isn't supported in B, for B. Now C, improved visual spatial skills do not generalize to improved skills in other areas. Yes, both of them talk about that. So passage 1 does say that people who use computers a lot get better visual spatial skills, but they say it doesn't move on to anything else. And then passage 2 is saying, look, yeah, you get better at doing that game, but it doesn't generalize to other stuff. That's what passage 2 is all about. So I like C. It works pretty well. And then D, Internet users are unlikely to prefer reading on-screen text to reading actual books. That seems a little too specific for my taste. We're talking about skills here. There may have been a line in one of them about what people prefer. I think that I really don't like the word prefer reading on screen. We're not talking about what people prefer. We're talking about what people are able to do. So inference questions are the hardest. So the answer is C in this case. Oop, missed it. There you go. The answer is C here. These are really, really hard. If you want to do well on the SAT reading section, you don't have to be good at inference questions because you can get everything else right before you start getting inference questions right. I think they're by far the hardest. But if you want to get a perfect score, you need to be doing these the right way, which is trying to avoid mistakes. And simple mistakes won't get you on these necessarily. It'll be legitimately hard things. In this case, this is that split passage type of passage. So you have to make sure, okay, both of these passages work for this answer choice. Be very, very circumspect when it comes to these questions, okay? Prove 3 wrong. That is your best shot at getting these right. Don't try to pick the right answer until you've picked 3 wrong answers. Okay. That's it for inference questions. There's no way to really make them easy. They're just hard. You have to understand everything, and then you have to analyze and make logical assumptions, but not too many logical assumptions. It's difficult. Okay, Bird.
Yes.
I am done with this. There are no more Discord questions as far as I know.
No, there are not.
Okay. Very good. Then we can do whatever we want for a while. Does anybody have any questions? SAT, ACT, stuff from their old tests that they took that they haven't figured out yet? Anything you'd like. Oh, I got that for you. There you go. Come on up here, Bird.
Yes.
If you're watching and you have a question, now would be a good time.
Don't hold it in.
Yeah, you'll get sick that way.
Yep.
Your body's not meant to hold a question in.
It gets moldy.
It's supposed to let it out. Relieve the pressure. Like that.
Just like that. In the Discord, though.
In the Discord, yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Don't do it here.
Don't do it here.
Yeah.
Well, you can put it on our, on our chat.
Yeah.
But if it has a picture, Discord's the place to go.
Bird loves pictures.
I'm a very visual learner. That's true.
You're a very visual bird, aren't you? Yes, you are.
Levi calls me Bird
Why do I call you Bird?
because my name is Brady,
Yes, Birdie.
and then Bird.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm a small bird. That's what I am.
Well, you're not the heaviest bird on the planet. I feel like ostriches are probably heavier than you are.
Ostriches are very large creatures.
For birds. What's that?
It's a bird.
Oh, I thought it was a decision tree.
It could still be a decision tree, but
Yeah.
maybe birds are just decision trees.
Yeah. I actually found out why flamingos stand on only one leg.
Why?
Because if they picked up the leg, they'd fall on their butt.
Yeah.
No, but actually it has to do with regulating body heat.
I doubt it.
Because they got little stick legs. Huh? And if they have them both out, then they're getting cold really quickly. So they pull one in. Because otherwise they're just covered in feathers.
You're covered in feathers.
Yeah?
Yep.
What else?
Tar.
And insurance. I'm totally covered in insurance.
You're covered by insurance.
I am just coated.
It's an idiom. Using the wrong preposition.
I'm coated in insurance.
Oh, insurance is coding you?
Yes.
I'm a bird. Are you ever sure that the message, the chat is working?
Yeah, it's working.
Hope so. Hey, if you guys are watching, just say hi. We want to know that our messenger is working. And once you say hi, we'll respond. We'll make it worth your while. Hi! It's Honomeru.
Oh no, what's up?
I like that you always say hi. It's good. Hope your day is going well. You got any questions for us, just let us know. But thank you for volunteering to say hi. Honomeru. 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 Hono. It's a bird right there. It's me. All right, Levi, what are we gonna do?
What?
What are we gonna talk about?
Dude. Give me a second, I'll be right there.
Oh, very good. I'm scared.
Yeah?
Yep, pretty scared.
Don't be scared.
I'm scared. There's nothing you can do about it. I'm very passionate.
About what are you passionate?
The things about which I'm passionate. I'm passionate about them.
Yeah?
I'll write a couple of formulas up there for you guys. D is equal to the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Midpoint. x1 plus x2 over 2, comma, y1 plus y2 over 2, in parentheses. That's also something that's kind of fun. I think it's fun. Very good. Yeah, get rid of that. Get rid of that.
Leave that up there. I want to do it visually.
Hold on. I also want to add schlope.
Slope?
Yeah.
Is that a Jewish slope? Slope. Slope.
Honey,
You're not even a slope of one.
turn the slope off. You left it on.
You're a negative slope, aren't you?
y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 is the slope.
It's the slope.
What about a little bit of this? Like a slope?
A slope.
The slope of the line.
Good thing we're Jewish. We're allowed to do this.
Yes.
The slope. This is supposed to be a Jewish man's beard. Does that look like a beard?
Where are you going with this?
It's like a beard. It's the slope.
Be gentle.
Gentler.
Gentler.
That's what my dad's beard looks like.
Yeah, before the operation.
Yeah. Before they made him look just like your dad.
Okay, just for the record, Levi and my father, Levi's father and my father, do not look
confuse
similar
themselves.
at all. And Levi thinks they look identical.
My dad always thinks he's your dad.
That doesn't make any sense. I doubt that happens. Can we add an H to these other words too?
Distance.
The dish. All right, I'm gonna rewrite this.
Wait, and then with his midpoint?
I don't know. That doesn't sound as good. Distance is great.
Distance. Okay, I'm gonna do.
Calculate the distance. The mid. What about midpoint? Like you put an H after the P. I think that's what it is.
What'd you say?
You put the H after the P, so it becomes an
Midpoint?
F sound. Midpoint. Schlope. I'd like some schlope on my bagel. Hey, that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Next one, next two. Yeah, that's kind of fun. I don't know. We'll see where it goes.
That's what we're trying to. Oh my gosh!
What?
It's behind the thing.
Oh, speaking of which.
Yeah. Speaking of which, let's wait.
Let's wait. Yeah, let's wait.
Let's wait.
Yeah.
Dude, you always know what to say.
That's not true.
You always know.
That's very much.
You have never not known what to say.
That's true, but the first thing you said is not true.
Dude. Come on.
All right, Alta Ipsum. What is it, Levi? Tell us.
Alta Ipsum, well, it depends. If you're Latin, it means summit yourself in Greek.
Forget the Greek.
What it means to summit yourself. So to make yourself the best that you can be. It allows you to become your best version of yourself because you're organized, more so than anything else. It's an online platform. It allows you to track your grades, to plan your classes, to plan your assignments. And so what you can do is you can put in a test or a midterm or something like that, or a term paper. Let's say term paper, and you have to write it over the course. It's going to take you 12 hours. So it'll set up a bunch of different times where you should be researching and doing different things, and then you can customize that study plan at will or at your leisure or both.
Leisure.
It's leisure.
Leisure. Keep going.
Yes. So that's what Alta Ipsum does. You can use it on your phone. You can use it on your laptop. It's really fantastic.
Yeah, it's got that scheduling function in it, which is great because you could put Nerdish in that schedule, remind yourself to watch us, and maybe, I don't know, do a little SAT, ACT studying, put that into your calendar as well. Color code it, make it the dark blue / purple that our shirts are. Also, it's free for the first month. That's right, you heard me correctly. It's free for the first month. That's right, you heard me correctly. It's free for the first month.
I don't think I heard you correctly.
Well, they did, so it doesn't matter what you heard.
Got it.
So give it a shot, see what it's like. You might like it. We'll see. There's some students that use it that say they are not as anxious as they were before because once they put the information down somewhere and they don't have to constantly have it in their brain, they get less anxious. Hey, sum it yourself, huh?
Yeah?
Here's you. There's you.
Yes.
So it's basically you're climbing on top of yourself, which I guess would look kind of like you gotta get your leg up too. It's not gonna happen, but if I could somehow climb myself, then I'd be Alta Ipsum.
Yes. Very good. In this situation right here, I'm going to stay here. I need you.
Fine.
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
I don't like this.
There's nothing out there.
I know.
No.
It's a bit cold.
Cold where? There?
The snow.
No. The snow.
The snow.
The snow. Too many things going on.
I know. The snow
Way
is
too many things going on.
coming in too much.
Right. I'm using the same variables as here, right? So we have these 2 points. I'm gonna stop that. X1 and Y. X1, Y1. So this just random XY pair. This other random XY coordinate pair. And then they're just labeled on the X and Y axes. Whatever. And we're trying to find the distance between those 2 points. Visually, it helps because it explains this thing if we're assuming Pythagorean theorem. And this looks a little Pythagorean theorem-esque because it is.
No way.
Yes way.
But wait.
We're going to draw in... No, there's just this. There's nothing else. We have a right triangle here whose hypotenuse is the distance between these 2 points. Now, this x distance, which, could have been drawn significantly better.
What do you think about this?
I don't think about it. Midpointment.
Ointment.
I got it. Very good. Thank you, Bird.
Yes.
This leg here is x2 minus x1. And this leg here is the difference between y2 and y1, so it's y2 minus y1. Oh, what do we got? What do you guys recommend for a 1-month study plan? Because I haven't been studying much for the SAT in a month. Okay, Robot Dancer. What you need to do is identify what you got problems with. It's not about just doing as many tests as possible. It's about knowing where your problem areas are. Do you know where your problem areas are? If you don't, then you got to figure it out, and we can talk about that. But let us know. Do you know what you need to work on? That's half the battle. It seems like you've been around for a while, been around the block, right?
Yeah, I'd say you definitely want to do like 1 day on, 1 day off, 2 days on, 1 day off, 1 day on, 1 day off. Repeat that. Make sure to get leg day in. That's really important. Probably want to start eating a lot more protein than they're eating now. Don't do that. No, listen to what Levi said.
Yeah, it's about how you study at this point. You've
Yes.
been around the SAT for long enough, around us doing this for long enough, so it's not about just hitting yourself in the head with tests. It is about taking one to figure out what exactly you need and then focusing on those things and then going back and checking again.
Like leg day.
Like leg day. Let me just finish this real quick before Robot gets anything else in. So, I'm kidding. I don't know why.
Robot Dancer, we love your comments and questions.
I'm actually more excited about your questions, so I'd prefer to not do this.
Yeah, keep going. You're almost done.
Okay. So this is a right triangle, so we can use Pythagorean theorem to relate the sides to each other. which means we know that x2 minus x1
You're below the
squared. I am, aren't
sponsor. We should put like a rectangle. I'm going to do that right now, actually.
That's a great idea.
Thank you.
So this is going to be x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared equals d squared. Right? It's just Pythagorean theorem using these things, where these are your 2 points and that's your distance. And then to actually solve for distance, you just take the square root of both sides. And that is where distance formula comes from. So it is a very visual thing. That's very good. You're doing very well.
I'm doing great work here. Great work.
Robot Dancer, do you have trouble with is it tiny little math concepts, or is it just the hard math in general and you feel like you're drowning when you're doing those last 20? Ooh, here we go. How do you figure out what topics I'm missing up? Like, is there a specific topic I can find for practice tests for a question? Example, let's say number 4 is a circle question. How do I know what to work on? Like, is there an index that shows what to work on, if that makes sense? Yes, it does. It does make sense. And that's kind of where tutors come in, where they see, oh, you got this one wrong, and they go through a problem with you, and then they realize, or you explain how you went through a problem, and they realize, oh, this was your gap in knowledge or your mistake, and then let's just knock this out. So you do 250 questions. Doesn't matter. Well, it does matter how many, but you do enough questions where you've eliminated that problem. So anytime you see it again, you'll be able to handle it.
Has Robot Dancer taken our diagnostic?
I think we may have talked to Robot Dancer about the diagnostic. Have we talked to you about the diagnostic, Robot Dancer? I'm sure we have. Like, I would be surprised if we haven't. It's free.
It's also fun and flirty. Fun, flirty, and free. Don't erase this.
I won't. Good. Never thought I would. But the diagnostic can help. Here we go. Yes. Okay. And so you what was the outcome of that? Did you had taken that test already, so it wouldn't help you? Oh yeah. Now I sort of remember. Yeah, you had taken that test.
Take that test. To take that test. Taking that test. Yeah, what did your score report indicate? You don't need to give us scores, but things that it said you need to work on. What were those things?
I think Robot Dancer had taken it, and then they may have been looking to find if they still had the answers from it.
Right.
But otherwise, they don't have them.
Accelerate tutoring.
Honestly, it should go on the other side.
Today. Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. All right. Well, you can erase this now then.
Yeah. Well, we can leave it for now.
Oh, we're fine.
So, Robot Dancer, what I would recommend. What do I recommend?
What would we recommend a Robot Dancer?
I get high 700s, below 600 on practice tests. I don't know how to increase writing scores. Should I just go over basic concepts of grammar? Yes, you should. Dang it, it's begun. Yeah, so 600s in English, if you've been working for this long and English is your native language, I think you can probably get above. You know, you've said you're scoring 700s on practice tests. So for the SAT, it's getting harder. It is getting much. I mean, at least, okay. So maybe the test itself isn't necessarily getting harder, but the scoring rubrics are getting harder. So one question wrong hurts your score more.
Where's the pen?
What are you looking for?
Where's the
It's
stylus?
up here.
Jeez.
It's at the bottom. Here. Did you enjoy that?
Kind of.
I got it. Okay, so yes, you should go over the basics of English. Now, we've done that so many times on here, I'm sure you've seen a lot of it. Do you know it? Is that where it is, or is it in the other writing section questions, so the the more context-related ones. So the transition questions or the main idea questions or the inserting and deleting or the sentence reordering questions. What gives you the biggest headache? Honestly, if you're able to score around a 700, you still got room to improve, but you should be able to, basically you can identify questions that are hard for you by the ones that give you a headache. Unless you know that the headachy ones, you get every single one of them right, and you just don't like them. But generally, it's the ones that are harder for you to get through are the ones you make mistakes on because you lose focus. It's hard for us to generalize about this for you. We're just not sure what the issue would be. Oh, good.
I'm assuming that those are the skills he was referring to that are not punctuation marks, things like inserting, deleting, transition.
Context. Very good.
Context.
Okay, let's do some context questions. Actually, let's do this. So the test we have down here now is the SAT-2. I'm sure you've done it.
Or have you?
But I'm sure you have. But have you?
Take a look at it. See what you think. You might like it. Yeah. Don't say that to the kids.
I've always done it.
That's better.
I've always done it.
Since forever?
Yeah, I was born with it. In my hands. I had it.
SAT-2, huh?
Extra.
Covered in the afterbirth?
Yeah.
Sure.
Me or the test?
Yes.
So the ACT was administered some...
Hey, Neil's back. Just press it.
I hate this.
Neil, it's usually like 10 days to 2 weeks or so. I've done 3. I'm saving the rest like you guys tell me to.
You are a good robot.
Saving the rest for what?
To do as check-ins, but not to just practice everything.
All right, so there are 5
But now
more.
now is a good time.
There's 1 month left.
Robot dancer. All right, well, okay. What is your timeline for this? Are you taking the test in a month from now? What do we got here? We got a cheer. Oh, look who it is.
It's Scotta.
Nice.
Scotta. He's our guy. Yay. That's the Scotta cheer.
No wonder he comes back. For college apps, does a job help? Does it count for a lack of extracurriculars? Yeah.
Yeah,
I think so.
I think that they'll understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you could tie that into an essay, perhaps, depending on what the job is.
Yeah.
But yes, a lot of students have a position where they need to take a job during high school. So colleges are, which honestly, a high school job is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's life-wise, that's a very good experience.
Yeah. So you're taking the test in a month. Is that the last time you're taking the test? If it is, then,
They're not a senior. They're probably a junior.
Right.
So there's more time in case you don't like your score here.
But are you taking it again or no? This is mine now.
No, it's not.
Oh.
It'll
I
never
thought it
be
would be
yours.
mine because I found
It'll
it.
never be yours.
I found it.
I found it first. I was born with it.
So did you find it?
I discovered it. I invented it.
Ah, okay. Got it. Oh.
Why does it do that?
Because Brendan's not here. Actually, no, it stopped. No, my second. Got it. So you might do it again. Good to know. I would say...
Here's something you could do.
I would say this. Whatever he's about to say, I'd say it.
Except if it's like a gym metaphor.
It's not going to be.
In your local community, see if there is a place that you can take a proctored practice test. Those can be quite helpful after you get the concepts down. Practice is really important. Getting used to the feel of being in a classroom with a time limit, getting kind of scared. You can freeze up. You can get a pretty bad case of test anxiety, which throws all the things that you've been working on out the window. Neil. There's a couple websites that have concordance tables between SAT and ACT. We can look it up right now for you if you'd like. But anyway, Robot Dancer, if you can find somewhere where you can take a proctored practice test, practice SAT, that would be very good for you to get more in the mindset when you take the actual thing. Having more practice is going to make it a little less scary. Yeah, that sounds about right. But that's just a prob.
I like stuff that Neil says. asks a question, straight up responds, "Oh." I think it's hilarious.
Let's see, 34 ACT.
Thank you, Scott Word.
Equivalent.
Scott, what do you do now?
Where do you go?
Yeah. I'm 16 and I work to pay bills. Hopefully colleges will like that. Something.
It's exclamation point, exclamation point.
Is it?
Yeah.
Ah.
So, and hopefully colleges will like that.
Ding.
You'll find it a lot more soon. Oh, playing hard to
will
get.
Will we, Scott Word? Will we?
1520 to... What is this other one?
Dude.
Hold on.
What are you doing?
1520 to... I'm trying to figure out what does this say? To what?
I'm
to
sure
what?
Scott is right.
To 1550. 1520 to 1550. So that's more of a 34. Is it Will or Neil?
Neil.
Neil Armstrong.
Similar, but younger.
Right.
Did all the same stuff.
No.
Oh.
Well, in a universe context, a lot of the same stuff. Yeah. Breathing, eating. Scada, I've got something big coming out. Scada, that reminds me of the trailer for the original Iron Man. He's in that cave, and they're... Oh!
Siwoo, hey, how are you?
He's in that cave, and the guys that trapped him are like, what is he doing? And one of them's like, he's working on something big in there. And then suddenly the door blasts open. Iron Man, the song starts playing, and he's wearing the suit, and he just starts shooting people. When I saw that preview, I was like, this looks like the dumbest movie I've ever seen.
Really?
Yeah, the preview was, it was just like play the Iron Man song after he comes out, like he's working on something big in there.
That was an awesome movie.
It was a great movie. Yeah, no,
I
know.
For a movie.
For a movie. I judged a movie by its trailer. So it would be a 1520 to a 1550. That's what the old concordance tables on the website I like to frequent said.
Yeah.
1520 to 1550.
Okay, so for those of you,
you asked about 35. 1550 to 1580. Yeah, that sounds about right. I can look it up.
Well, it doesn't matter.
Start talking.
Okay. Siwoo, hello. Also, we are responding to people on Twitch who are not on Facebook because we're on different platforms at the moment. It doesn't matter. I can just there's a link.
A 35 is a 1560 to a 1590. Yeah, because it doesn't go between points. So if you're at a 1550, you're still at a 34. And once you hit the 1560 mark, you're starting to be at a 35.
Roughly.
So what do you guys recommend? 1, raw practice, Khan Academy. U-World. 2, practice tests every other day. 3, targeted practice. We're going to go around 4, or a bit of all.
Okay. Practice test. Okay, so if you've done the first, 3? Do the 4th practice test. Okay? And then go through and identify what you're messing up. That's what you got to do. So you're going to look at, okay, so here are the 10 questions I got wrong in the writing section. And 2 of them are commas questions. So I need to hammer comma questions. I know that. Also, 2 of them are transition questions. I need to pay more attention on those. And then you get 1 of a couple other things. Try to eliminate the ones that you made simple mistakes on. Stop making simple mistakes. That is probably a decent part of it because honestly, a lot of the time when you're burning yourself out on doing a test every other day, which is I seriously don't recommend doing that. You start making simple mistakes because you're exhausted. Don't do that. Do a test. Do it under test conditions. See where you make mistakes and try to aggregate those in some way that allows you to analyze why you're making the mistakes and those main things. Then you're identifying the topics that are highest yield for you. So those topics, if you master them, you will increase your score the most with that topic. Generally, writing is a little bit easier to improve than any of the other sections. We would do it for you if we had more tests on our free thing, which we could do, just not super soon. Brady's not paying attention to me.
Student.
Yep, that's fine. Okay, so raw practice is good. If you mean raw practice, meaning just, practicing some questions from somewhere, sure. Yeah, that, Khan Academy, U-World, they're all great. I would just say that you want to use a test to orient yourself towards the most important things for you to study, and then work on those a lot, and then maybe take another practice test. You have a month. I would not take more than 3 practice tests before then. I would probably max it at 2.
Neil, completely depends on the subject test and your proficiency in that specific topic. They're all incredibly different. There's no equivalence because it is a very specific topic. Like there's a physics one, and the SAT and ACT doesn't cover physics at all. So it completely depends on where you are at currently with your physics education, how much of the material that's on the test you know. What test are you thinking of taking?
Also, yeah, I do apologize, Robot Dancer. Hopefully in the next couple of months we can get a fuller set of those tests on our website so that people can actually make use of it.
Diagnostic?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Definitely.
Definitely.
And studying for both of them is just studying. I mean, is your question which are harder to get good scores on? Because that's a question right there. And the answer is depends on which test. The Math 2 subject test has the greatest curve, though, right? It is a pretty generous curve. You could get like
7 or 8 wrong.
Yeah, you can get 7 or 8 wrong, and still get an 800. Maybe it's 7 or 8 you can omit. There's a whole new aspect to those tests, though, which is you get a minus a quarter point for every answer you get wrong. You get 0 points for answers that you omit. So if you can eliminate 2 or 3 options and guess between 1 or 2, then it's worth it to take a shot. If you can't eliminate anything, you probably should omit the question because there's a very large chance you're going to get it wrong and lose a quarter of a point. But some students take that too far, and they're like, oh man, like I'm going to omit so many of them. There's no way to get a good score if you omit too many. Omissions, you shouldn't do more than, depending on the test, but for Math 2, omitting 5, 10, nothing more than that. Otherwise, there's just no way you're going to get a good score. Because minus a quarter point isn't that big of a deal. It's not. Getting 1 wrong, and then, for every 5, you're going to get 1 right on average. If you're just guessing A over and over. Oh, sorry. So yeah, it is a pretty generous curve. I haven't looked at the curves on all of the tests, so I don't know if it's the greatest one, but I know it's a pretty great one.
It's pretty great, dude.
Yeah. Have you taken a Math 2 test yet, Neil? An official or a practice from a book or a website or something like that? Do you know where you're at so far? We do offer tutoring for that. We don't do that on Twitch. We do that. You got to contact us about that, but we do offer that. No. I shouldn't ask so many questions, because then when you say no, it's like, what do you respond with? Take it in May. Got it. Take it in May. Have you taken a practice test to see where you're at? Because that's the best possible thing. Moved here from... This is amazing. Ask him more questions. He can be your guru. Oh.
Siwoo! Oh my goodness. Siwoo, you gotta stop it. Stop that, Siwoo. Stop that.
How do you know Siwoo's not talking about me?
I don't? But I think he's talking about me.
Oh, Siwoo. I should say these guys are amazingly smart. Ask them more questions. They can be your guru. This is in parentheses.
Did you know the best part? What?
Kneeling. That's great. That's great.
Oh my gosh, Scotta.
Scotta's
gonna do great things.
Scotta should have applied to Clown University, where they teach how to be a bozo. That's where Scotta should have gone. Seal, I'm sorry, or Neil, I forget. I'd asked you a bunch of questions. Have you taken a practice test? So I don't know if that yes applies to that question because I asked you too many questions. The best thing you can do for a lot of different tests, such as the Math 2, yes, you do. Okay, you don't need to tell us your score, but are you happy with it, or you're like, we got to get this thing up a lot? Also depends on what schools you're applying to. Some request it. Some you need to get a certain minimum score if they're going to consider you for, say, their engineering program, something like that. Do you have a source for more SAT2 math tests? Because you can keep taking them. Every time you take them, it's almost like you're casting a net and you're seeing what slips through the cracks or the holes of the net. so that you know to work on those things, and then you throw out the net again. You're going fishing. But there's a lot of things you can do with your graphing calculator that make that test so much easier and so much faster. A lot of heavy lifting you can outsource to your grapher, finding intersection points, things like that. So I would recommend, well, if you can, ask us about tutoring, because there's some tips and tricks that can make you really just rip through that thing like it's paper. Because it is paper. It's made of paper. They clear your calc. No, I do not know the official policy on SAT 2s, but as far as your calc's basic functionality with graphing, you're allowed to have a graphing calculator. And I'm not talking about putting cool programs on it, although those always help. A graphing calculator can do a lot of the heavy lifting just on the y equals menu on the graph. A lot of trig stuff. What do we got here? Oh, wow. Was this at school that you took it, or was this at one of the testing centers? Because for the longest time, I'd never heard of them actually clearing out a calculator. Officially, you're not supposed to have programs that are more than like 25 lines. Okay. Was this a teacher that did this, or was this like someone who's just a proctor from the community?
Didn't we have this conversation with someone, or was this?
It might have been
someone
you.
else?
North Carolina. Well, the principal. Oh, the principal. Great. Was this an official test that your school is administering to everyone, and then the actual scores, get recorded, or was this just a school giving you guys all a practice test to see how you guys are doing, so that they can hopefully teach a little bit more towards the test? Not a good thing necessarily.
Oh, Siwoo, thank you for the follow.
Thank you.
I appreciate it, Siwoo.
All right, this is an official.
Oh, Steve. Sorry. Am I calling you Steven? Should I call you Steven? My bad, if that's what's going on.
Yeah, you should not send them to colleges until you see the scores. So on the test, it gives you the option to put some school codes in to have them send the scores to those schools. Don't do that until you see the scores later on. Then choose to send them or not. It's not a good idea to take a test and before you get the scores back, say, go ahead and send these score reports to colleges. So if you can also cancel the sending. Yeah, good. Okay, yes.
Neil knows.
You had your principal. Okay. So most students take these tests on Saturdays in local schools that, are cleared out for, students all around the area to come take them. And the people that are proctors don't really know the whole, you got to delete programs that are more than 25 lines. It sounds like you had the worst case scenario, which is your principal, who's someone that is immersed in education and understands how calculator programs work and how to get rid of them. So that really stinks. I would say learn how to use your calculator. Try to get those programs, at least the formulas that they give you, memorized if you have to do them. The benefit of having them on your calculator is speed. Your calculator will do them faster than you can. So you should probably try to get them back on your calculator, and then the next time you take it will probably not be at school, and they probably will not... Hey! Thanks for the follow. They probably will not clear it at those places. Either way, there's great things you can do with your graphing calculator on the SAT 2 Math 2 test, the subject test. Program-less. No programs. Sans programs, as they say. They don't say that. Yes, stream elements. Fantastic. Fantastic. Where is Brendano? Brendano is taking the night off.
Brendanowitz.
Brendano. This is a good time to ask about Brennan's personal life. It's actually getting pretty personal lately.
Quite lively as well.
Yes, very
Full of
much
life.
Personally, lively.
Donde está Brendano?
Where is the Brendan?
Scotta, do you have any questions about college?
Scotta. Every time Brennan comes, you're not there. How do you think he feels?
Probably bad.
Yeah.
You do. Okay. What is college? Question is, who is college?
Wherefore
Art thou?
college? College is it's a place you go in the 1970s to like throw frisbees around and
Yeah.
like meet good friends that you'll be friends with later as an adult in the 20 teens.
Yeah.
It's you kind of missed the boat. It was just
It's
really,
like university, but without grad
it
schools.
was 1 decade.
So just think university, take off grad school, that's college.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Let's forget the 1970s thing.
Yeah. I think that's it.
I thought college was like a collection of photos or drawings that you mesh together. No, you're thinking of collage, which has an A in it, which
Yeah.
is a standard mix-up. Did you apply to collage or college, Scotta? Because if you applied to collage, bad news for you, you don't need to apply to collage. Anybody can collage. I'm going to collage tomorrow with a friend. Why is college? Now that is a good question. Now you're asking the right questions. Yeah, Scotta, that's what we thought. Yeah, you don't need to apply to collage.
Oh.
And people that ask
Arguably
you
more impressed.
for money that you managed to somehow apply to collage.
Well, no. So Scotta applied to collage and was accepted into college. So somehow somebody forwarded his stuff.
Some connections got crossed.
Some bozo.
Some bozo took his application from collage.
Took it from there,
and
put it in the
sent
other bin.
In the bin. The college bin. I know, this kid wanted to go to collage. Now you're going to go to college.
What a knob!
What a knob. I saw a play recently.
I doubt it.
You're right.
Yeah. Am I right? Or
Yeah,
am I
you're
wrong?
right.
Oh,
I
I
saw a
am.
play recently.
Got it.
I saw.
Hey.
I went to the opera.
Hey.
What?
Oh, it's getting late. Very early. What time is it? Oh, we got 10 minutes, 12 minutes.
Raise the roof.
Then put it back on.
Yep. Keep it at the same
Nice
level.
and gently.
The roof's supposed to last 25 years. A good roof.
We're gonna build the roof. So I shouldn't have done that. Whatever.
You don't get political. Actually, we can now.
Political.
Stop.
Okay, we gotta do more
gosh.
math to keep us from doing
What time
anything
is
dumber
it?
than
What
we
is
already
going
have.
on?
It's 9:20.
Oh man, one of my students' moms texted.
Really? Okay. You should just call.
No.
No? Okay. Hey. So, Brady's over there. Scotta, Neil, any questions about Brady? Also, please ask your questions about the SAT and ACT specifically. That would also really help. We can do that stuff instead of, watching us really, really painstakingly pass time. How do I maths the readings? You don't. In order, though, ideally. Make maths a verb.
How do I maths the readings? What is Brady's favorite activity?
Go.
Dancing.
New choice.
It's improv.
New choice.
Reading.
New choice.
Oculus Go. Games.
Good.
Eating churros.
Close.
That's actually churros has an extra R in there. There's 2 R's. So what you said, eating churros is I don't know what those are, Scotta. Frankly, and I'm disgusted that you think I eat churros. I eat churros. They're much better.
Churro.
But Neil, I actually do like dancing. Blues swing dancing. Those are 2 different. It's not called blues swing. There's blues swing dancing and blues dancing. They're fun. It's partnered social dancing like they used to. You put your hand in the middle, and then then you start spinning around like you're at a medieval ball. And then the prince issues a proclamation. And when you show up, there's a guy with a trumpet that blows a little thing and then says, "The Honorable Tudor Brady is here." And then everyone gives a nice polite clap. And then I walk down the stairs, and then the dance commences. And that's why I like it, because, it's...
So this is a circle. Neil, I have a question for you.
Oh, so you think I eat hair curls? Scotta, who told you? I find them delicious. I don't know.
C for center.
No, C for circle.
No, C for center.
Got it.
O
C-
for circle.
Great.
Oh,
Ooh.
that was what you meant. Yes, it was Scotward. I'm sure it was. Let's
Skata.
go like that. Then let's go like this.
Does Brady like the TV show Whose Line Is It Anyway? Yes, I do. Is there an E in there? Whose line is it anyway? Or is that... I mean, yeah, it's a great show. I haven't really watched... I don't know if it's still on, because they came back with like a second... What do you call that when they start a show again? Reboot.
A movie?
A reboot. But the first seasons were excellent. Big fan. Watched this as a child and thought about doing that on TV with my friends.
Yeah?
And look at me now. Drawing circles and doing improv. Wearing the same shirt every night. It says nerdish.
You've never watched that.
No. Ryan Stiles, Wayne Brady, Drew Carey, of course, is the host. Colin Mockery, and then there's always the guest.
Who's your favorite of the big three?
That's a good question. I mean, when it comes to the music, Wayne Brady is unbelievable.
Yes.
Oh my God, it's face melting how good he is. Between Colin and Ryan. Ryan is the tall one.
Yeah.
Colin's the short one.
Yeah.
Good question. I don't know. I like them both. Yes.
Hey, Neil. Are you still here, Neil? And if you are, say yes, and then say if you know how to do this question. Can you get from this information, which is a circle, this is the center C, you know that that angle is 20 degrees and that angle is 20 degrees. All of these things obviously intersect at this point on the circle. And can you find X?
Huh? Can you? Can you do it?
Can you not?
Can
One
you-
of those two.
Yeah, it's
It's
gotta
not gonna be
one of
something
those
different.
two. Have fun.
You have two choices.
Da, la, 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 Run, da-dum, dun, dun, dun. Key change. Run, dun, dun.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh my gosh, I hate this thing. Is the answer 40? I don't know, to be honest. That brings horrors of geometry back to life. Yeah, it does. Let's see. Is the answer 40? I don't know. Let's talk about it.
That's a radius.
That is a radius.
That's a radius.
Ooh, but what about a radius?
You're looking at him. That's a radius.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yes. What Brady did is he did the thing that you're supposed to always do with circle questions like this. You draw a radius from the center of the circle to a point that seems to matter that doesn't already have a radius. Okay? You really want to do that. That's one of the good things to throw at circles to see if it works. From there, I've seen this thing before. Yeah, you probably have.
Was it in a dream or was it real? Keep going.
Yep.
That was.
Now, from here, with this radius, the next leap you have to make is, this is an isosceles triangle. With an isosceles triangle, you want to draw because you got blue now?
Sure, isosceles triangles. Two sides are the same, which means the angles that are opposite those sides are also the same, meaning this is going to be 20 as well. That means between them they have 40 covered, so this is going to be 140. Same thing with this one. This is going to be 20. This is going to be 140. So this x and the 140s together have to make 360. So between them you get 280. In order to make it 360, x has to be 80. Another way to think about it is once you have these two 20s, sorry, you're going to say something?
No.
You see these two 20s. This angle is a 40-degree angle, and it's inscribed on the side of the circle. According to circle geometry, that means that this arc length, or this arc, is going to be 80 degrees, because it's twice the angle that's inscribed. And this right here, this angle that's inscribed at the center, will have the same degree measure as the arc length that it opens up to, which is also going to be 80.
Yeah, I think this is actually the proof of that law.
Oh.
So,
Oh.
yeah. So it was defined anyway, so it's fine.
Oh.
Can
I
you
didn't know
say
that.
any other letters of the alphabet?
J.
Got it.
What time we got? 9:25. We have 5. I just
Wow.
clean my phone.
I didn't mean to.
That's my phone. That's my most prized possession. I outsource my brain to that thing.
I was reading something recently.
I doubt it.
Okay. I was listening
went
to
to a
something
play recently.
You weren't.
I did.
You weren't.
I was going to
recently.
make a case. A very interesting case that you just shut down because you doubted it.
I doubted it, but that's what cases are all about.
I saw an actor at the play.
How many?
Well, there were a lot of them, but I
How
saw an
many
actor
plays?
I knew in the audience.
Oh.
Richard Kind is his name. You'd recognize him if you looked him up. Richard Kind, he was in the audience. He was just watching a show like the rest of us.
Doesn't that kind of make you part of the play? Like if there's an actor in the audience?
Oh, jeez. Was I in the play as well?
They were just watching you.
They did give me like a payment for my work in the show, so I guess I might have been in the show.
$?
This is pretty much clean now.
Yeah,
This looks like magnetic field lines or something,
it does.
doesn't it? Isn't that insane?
It is literally.
I will need to go
so
to the
insane.
insane asylum because of how crazy that is. That's how tough it is.
Push harder.
I hear the cracking. No, I don't.
It scared me.
Yeah. I hear it coming.
Okay.
Hear it coming, babe.
I think. Does anybody have any questions? We can do a question real quick for the last couple of minutes. Otherwise, I think we'll head out. And then, what day is today? Wednesday. So
Yeah.
we're back tomorrow.
Neil,
I forget what we're doing.
we did the problem that you put in Discord. I don't know if you were watching earlier in the stream. So after this is over, feel free to just watch the stream. And it's somewhere near the beginning where we do your question. You'll see it. Levi draws it on the board. And the other guy, that's not Levi, has a pretty solid explanation of
Bird
it.
star.
Yes. That is me. I'm a bird.
And you're a star.
Birdstar.com. Understandable. Good to see you, man, Levi. And nice meeting you, Brady. Levi, let's catch up someday. Brady, let's not catch up someday. Levi, come up to Boston.
Very good, Bird.
I'm not the smart guy. You don't want to catch up with me.
That
What
makes
did I
sense.
do wrong? Steven?
Yeah,
Siwoo?
sounds good. Steven now.
I'm just kidding. Come on over anytime. You know where Levi lives. You don't know where Levi... I don't know
Don't
where
tell
Levi
him right
lives.
now. Now's not the time.
Yeah, I know.
I'll talk to him.
Let me give you an address.
No?
123 Alphabet Road in
U.S.
U.S.
continental
Divide.
island. Yep.
Great.
Okay, so
Hey,
tomorrow.
Encryption XYZ is here from YouTube.
Encryption. What are you doing on YouTube?
We're about to leave and you show up on
how,
YouTube?
How did you get over there?
What are you thinking?
You're stuck.
You're not thinking, Encryption.
What did you bring to YouTube? Did you bring the 3 things?
I'm at a loss of words here.
You're not. You're still talking.
I can't have any other words besides these ones
I'm at
right
a loss
now.
of encryption. Encryption's at YouTube. Have a good night. Tomorrow, what is tomorrow? The 21st?
Maybe.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Tomorrow, Bird is going to be doing factoring and foil, and I am going to be doing transitions.
I can smell the transitions in the air.
I can smell us transitioning off screen.
Good night.
Good night.
Sorry, I was binge watching the flicks. Hope you liked it.
Oh, can you click escape on the keyboard?
Oh, jeez. Are we still streaming?
Yes, we are.
This is embarrassing.
So embarrassing.
Good?
Nope. Do it now. Yes.